Ready? Okay. Good morning to all the dignitaries, guests and delegates. I am Harsiddhi Shah, Senior Associate of Programs at Aic Gusec, that is the Atal Incubation Center at Gujarat University. Aic Gusec Foundation is an incubator that offers a collaborative, zero-cost incubation program to for-profit social entrepreneurs and acts as a bridge between the solution and the problems of the society to the nation. With great joy and immense exaltation, I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all present here. Today we turn 2. It's that second year anniversary for our foundation. And what better way to celebrate it with this elaborate stage for stirring the discussions in the right direction. Prabhav, the Social Entrepreneurship Conference, it was coined to aim with an aim to create awareness about the need for social impact and how the various social enterprises can fulfill the same. First, I would like to invite our CEO, Mr. Dheeraj Bhojwani, for a short welcome address. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Harsiddhi, for the warm welcome. I won't take much time from you because we are already a bit delayed with the conference today. Thanking all of you to make time for this, especially agenda which doesn't take too much audience or doesn't get too much audience, social entrepreneurship. But we are a foundation which is focused on social entrepreneurship and are committed to this kind of activity in a long way forward. In the last 2 years, despite the COVID challenges, we have been able to support over 65 innovators, startups in taking their journey from an idea to the business. And we are committed and we are hopeful that these numbers will grow leap and forward from here in the coming years to come. I'm glad to share in these last 2 years, our startups have been able to save 12 crore kgs of carbon emissions. 220 lakhs liters of water has been saved by the efforts which our startups have put in. 22 lakh kgs industrial waste has been processed by our startups and converted into useful and recyclable products. And about 8 lakh lives have been impacted by the startups' efforts. These are the numbers which make us proud, and we are not going to stop here. There are things and there are other impact related activities that we are committed to, and we'll continue putting our efforts for that in that direction also. With this, I would also like to thank Gujarat University's leadership and the other leaders of Government of Gujarat and Government of India. I would also like to take a moment to thank Atal Innovation Mission for the efforts and the support that has been provided to the Atal Incubation Center at Gujarat University. And there are a number of other patrons, including Gujarat University's efforts like GUSEC, IIES, IIS, IDSR. All these organizations are also supporting Aic Gusec's effort into supporting social entrepreneurs. I would not take much time from you. We would like to continue with the conference from here. I would say that you would see that the hall looks empty because we were planning to do it into a smaller auditorium. Because of the technical reasons, we had to shift it into a larger auditorium. Hence, these kind of delay in the technical difficulties that we're facing in the morning right now. But from here, I commit that most of your experience will be smooth from here. I would request Harsiddhi to take over, and thanking all of you for your presence in this conference. Thank you.
So it's our trend that since we are always supported by our Gujarat University, which is one of the largest university in the country, we always start our university celebration or any program or any conference that we do with our university song. So I would request my team to please play the song, and we can just thank our university for supporting us. Thank you.
Vandan Abhinandan, Vandan Abhinandan, Vandan Abhinandan.
Vandan Abhinandan, Vandan Abhinandan. Gujarat University apni, Gujarat University apni vidya tapovan.
Vandan Abhinandan. Vandan Abhinandan. Vandan Abhinandan. Vandan Abhinandan.
राष्ट्र चेतना कला साधना खेल भावना विकसी
विश्व मानवी बनी गुजराती विश्व सकल माविल से स्नेह संत सहकारनी साथे देती तू सन्मति सौना साथ ने संगाते सौ सिद्ध करे उन्नति प्रेम बंधुता समानताना पल पल प्रसरे स्पंदन
Vandan Abhinandan. Vandan Abhinandan. Vandan Abhinandan. Vandan Abhinandan. Vandan Abhinandan. Vandan Abhinandan. Vandan Abhinandan.
Thank you, everyone. With this, I am pleased to inform you that we have our independent director, Mr. Patik Patwari, with us today. So I would like, sir, to address us, please, for maybe 2 minutes. Thank you so much, sir.
Hi, very good morning, everyone. 2 years is a small number, but a very long journey. And this journey would not have been so simple if you people would have not contributed actively. It goes right from the management team and most important, the students and the innovators. It's you because of which today this journey has become a memorable one, and we know that we have a committed long years to come further up. Today morning when we were discussing with Mr. Anurag Jain, who happens to be the secretary with DPIIT, me along with Rahulji, we elaborated on various issues and challenges the startup ecosystem is facing currently. And with a very proactive government, what we have, they were heard very well. They were deliberated, they were discussed on both the fronts, right from our perspective and the government perspective. And ultimately, we are very hopeful that we'll get some very sound solutions in the coming days. Gujarat has been a front runner in the startup ecosystem of late. Of course, I would say that we were very late as an entry to the entire ecosystem. We might have almost missed the bus, but we know there is an entrepreneurial Gujarati spirit in all of us. And even if we start late, we know how to catch it up and be the leaders. And that's how today Gujarat is coming up with huge number of startups, number of unicorns who have been mushroomed out of Gujarat. And that's the spirit that keeps all of us driving. I again wish you all a very best of luck. I'm sure that your participation and AIC Gusec together, we will be able to bring a lot of difference in the entire ecosystem. And it will only be possible if you participate. It won't be a one-way communication. You will have to be equally participative. You'll have to share your views. You'll have to share your challenges so that they could be heard, they could be resolved. So looking forward for your participation again. Again, big thank you and wishing good luck to AIC Gusec. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, I would like you to please come on the center stage. I would request our CEO Dheeraj Bhojwani to felicitate sir with a memento. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Without any further ado, it's time to start. So our first panel is CSR Accelerating Social Enterprises. This panel is going to talk about how corporates and social enterprises, be it a startup or a not-for-profit organization, can join hands and work towards creating a social impact. I would like to welcome our panelists for the same. Our first panelist is Dhruv Narayan Mukherjee, DGM CSR, Karen Oil and Gas from Vedanta Group. Dhruv Narayan is a CSR and sustainability professional having 18 years of experience in strategizing and managing CSR programs across varied geographies. He has done his master's in forestry with specialization in economics and management from Forest Research Institute, Dehradun. He's currently working as DGM CSR in Karen Oil and Gas, a company of Vedanta Group, where he is managing stakeholder relations and education for Project Nandangarh, the flagship CSR initiative of Vedanta Group. We are pleased to have you, sir, on the panel. Our second panelist for the day is Dr. Lata Brahmbhatt, Manager, CSR, Wagh Bakri Tea Group. Dr. Lata has 2.5 decades of experience in different capacities in different organizations, including the projects run by Government of Gujarat. Her focused areas of work are social welfare, women empowerment, and rural development. Thank you, Lata, for joining us. Today's panel is going to be moderated by Hardik Shah, founder of Recycle Green. Recycle Green is a startup that is helping reduce the waste component of our state currently. And he is also incubated at AIC Gusec. Thank you so much for joining us, Hardik. You have your independent and wireless mics there. So I hand it over to our moderator, Hardik, from here on. Thank you so much. Just in case, I would like to tell the audience that if you have any questions during the panel discussion, you can always raise your hands and we can address it. Or at the end of the panel, we can take your Q&A. Okay? Thank you. Over to you.
Good morning. Namaskar. सुस्वागतम. कहते हैं कि आपको ऐसा स्टार्टअप करना है जो आपको पैसा बहुत जल्दी कमा के दे, तो आपको फाइनेंस का स्टार्टअप करना पड़ेगा. आपको ऐसा स्टार्टअप करना है कि आप दुनिया के सब लोगों तक बहुत जल्दी पहुंच पाओ, देन आपको एक टेक्नोलॉजी स्टार्टअप करना है. पर अगर आपको ऐसा एक स्टार्टअप करना है जिसका नाम ट्रस्ट सदियों तक रहे और कस्टमर्स उसको याद करें, तो आपको एक सोशल स्टार्टअप करना पड़ेगा. So this is what our theme of today's panel discussion, and I welcome both our panelists, Shri Dhruv Mukherjee and Dr. Lata, and the subject is CSR Accelerating Social Enterprises. तो एक पहला क्वेश्चन से हम चालू करेंगे, which will be maybe थोड़ा सबको जानना जरूरी है because it's the need of an hour. So एक के बाद एक I'll ask sir, आपको एक पहला मैं questions पूछूंगा, then ma'am I'll come back to you. So according to the new law of government, what are the CSR compliances that a corporate needs to follow? So maybe starting with you, sir.
Hello everyone. So the question is, what are the compliances a company needs to follow? So as per the CSR Act, the 2% of last 3 years profit a company needs to spend on CSR activities. The activities are as per the 11 focus areas as mentioned in Schedule 7 of the Companies Act. And the programs can be implemented across the territory of the country. However, it also says that focus should be given to the areas where we have our operations, because the idea is that they are our immediate stakeholders and they need to be managed and engaged with the company as part of the inclusive growth strategy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Your views.
Yeah, I have to add 2-3 things. अभी जो नया आया है CSR का guidelines provided by the ministry, उसमें भी ऐसा ही है कि 3 years experience we require कोई भी कंपनी या स्टार्टअप है तो भी वी रिक्वायर 3 years एक्सपीरियंस उस सेक्टर में काम करा हुआ हो वो. And also they have to ready to spend the amount. Spend is not merely कि हमने पैसे दे दिए और खर्च हो गया, लेकिन actual they have to spend on the project or program. तो वो specification provided by the MCA guideline.
Acha. Okay. So next is again, this will be more interesting for us to understand from your individual perspective. So how do you, as a part of CSR team, have helped social enterprises? Maybe both of you would have interesting. We're happy to learn from you. So how do you, as a part of a CSR team, have helped social enterprises?
So, there are phases of CSR, if I may put. The preliminary is cosmetic CSR. Then we have proactive CSR, responsive CSR, followed by strategic CSR. The strategic CSR are like, I would say these are done by companies who have matured to a level. And these companies actually promote social enterprises. So if we take our example, we are working in this flagship CSR initiative of Vedanta Group, which is named Project Nandghar. As part of this project, we are implementing programs on maternal and child health. So we are promoting startups who are developing early detection kits. So these can be given to the government ANM and ASHA workers to find out the problems in the very beginning. Like the common problem with pregnant lactating women is anemia. So if it can be traced at the beginning, then corrective action can be taken. So we are supporting such startups which are developing early detection kit. In addition, we also work on the early childhood education space. So we are supporting companies who are developing e-learning content for children and activity kits for children so that they can get this learning in a easier manner. We have the children in the Anganwadis, but their peers in cities are studying in the play schools, modern play schools. However, these children who are in the villages, in the rural areas, we need to ensure that the first 3 to 5 years, which are the formative years of growth, they are provided the best kind of learning so that which will have multiplier effect on their life.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, social startup, entrepreneurship, we already focused in rural areas. So before 3 years, we identified one project at Chotila, Surendranagar, near Chotila, Surendranagar. And 2 years back, I visited. During Corona also, I went there and visited. We have given small kits, mobile repairing, sewing machine, like that, automobile kit. और बहुत आपको जान के खुशी होगी कि that person were using that. And I met individually to around 4 to 5 candidates where we have provided this kit. तो वो लोग अपनी छोटी सी मोबाइल रिपेयरिंग की दुकान खोले थे और अच्छे से आमदनी कमा रहे थे. और स्विंग मशीन ऑल्सो आई वेंट एंड मेट वन वुमेन, तो वो भी अपनी फैमिली के 3,000 या 4,000 रुपए कमा रही थी महीने के, लेकिन उनके लिए वो सफिशिएंट था. हम सोच रहे हैं कि बड़ा बड़ा कमाए या करोड़ में लाख्स में उनका टर्नओवर हो, वो सब नहीं है, लेकिन उनकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट होती है बहुत ही ऐसा हम सोच रहे हैं कि हाँ 5,000, बट दे आर सेटिस्फाइड, देयर फैमिली इज सेटिस्फाइड कि हाँ अच्छा उनका काम क्या मिलेगा कि फॉल बीडिंग, सिलाई, छोटा छोटा काम मिलेगा, बट दे आर हैप्पी, वो अर्निंग चल रहा है और दे आर हैप्पी. तो एज ए सीएसआर पार्टनर हम ऐसा नहीं सोचेंगे कि उनका क्या टर्नओवर है, क्या है वो सब, लेकिन वो लोग सेल्फ एम्पावर्ड है, इंडिपेंडेंट हो रहे हैं अपने हिसाब से. दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर अस.
Yes, good. So two perspective. One is like what sir is telling is edtechs also has a good space, and ma'am is telling like even the last person is an enterprise. So both the perspective we are learning. Now moving to the next questions. What are the various criteria that you as a social enterprise has to take off for funding from CSR? So if somebody is a social enterprise and they are asking for funding from CSR, so what are the different perspectives or different points you take off before deciding on? Yeah. Ma'am, if you want to go first.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. We see usually कि empowerment process है कि नहीं उसमें. एक है कि आप support दे देते हैं, यानी पैसे दे दिए कि 10,000 per person, ऐसा एक गिनती होता है. But we usually look कि उसका empowerment, उसका sustainable है कि नहीं project. That we usually see in the project. और दूसरा सोशल एंटरप्राइज का मतलब, मैं अभी एक बुक पढ़ रही थी, नील गगनना पंखेरु, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग बुक, જે ગુજરાતી લોકો છે પ્લીઝ રીડ કરે, કે સોશિયલ એન્ટરપ્રાઇઝમાં એવું છે કે એક ચેન્જ, એક બદલાવ એ વ્યક્તિમાં આવે, that is that part must we have to incorporate every social જે enterprise. What is the difference between social enterprise and regular enterprise, वो हमको एक समझना जरूरी है कि व्यक्ति खुद एम्पावर हो सकता है, वो सस्टेनेबल हो सकता है. जैसे आज वो पेजर पहले था, फिर मोबाइल आया, अभी मोबाइल में भी एंड्रॉइड आया, तो हर एक चीज में बदलाव आता है. तो अगर आज ये जो पाबी बहन से मैं बात कर रही थी, तो सिलाई का अगर नहीं चल रहा है तो वो लोग बैग्स बना रहे हैं, वो डिफरेंस सोशल एंटरप्राइज में दिखेगा अगर चेंज है तो हम ये प्रोजेक्ट में अवश्य देखते हैं कि वो पर्सन है वो एम्पावर होता है कि नहीं, अगर चीजें बदलती है तो वो बदलाव में वो आएगा कि नहीं, वो उसमें वी यूजुअली देखते हैं.
Yeah. So basically moving towards self-independence, if it is possible. Yes, from your side.
So CSR is a highly regulated field, and in the last year in January 2021, the government issued some guidelines that any agency that receives CSR fund, either they can be a Section 8 company or they can be a trust who have the 12A and ATG certificate. So these two are very important if a startup intends to get funds from CSR. Further, the startup should have demonstrative 3 years of work on ground or existence to get the CSR fund. And most importantly, it is suggested that you can always go through the websites of company and find out how your activities are aligned to the CSR programs or priorities or themes that the company has earmarked. So all these things actually help in getting the easily selection done, and that's it.
Correct. Yeah. So basically every company has their own kind of a pathway where they would have own decision making and own kind of, so it's not a standard tick box, I would say. What's the conclusion is, it's company to company varies. So every company evaluates from their perspective. Yeah. Okay. So moving to the next question. What are the different challenges you observe in CSR implementation? So whenever you decide on some project, and then when it comes as a review at end, then you would definitely come out with some challenges, that the other challenges, or maybe you have some challenges which you would like to take help of the startups somewhere. So if you can elaborate, both of you.
From our company's perspective, if I speak, we are in the extractive industry, and the challenge is managing the stakeholders' expectation, because the stakeholder groups, whether they are primary, secondary, or tertiary, they have a separate set of expectation from the company. And if I may bluntly say, in operational area, they would ask us to do everything. Like in the morning, I was discussing about our project Nandghar in Jharkhand. In Jharkhand, the Anganwadi workers haven't received salaries for last 6 months. So if we talk about it, it comes to us that why don't you pay them? So, these are certain challenges. One is managing stakeholder expectation is, I would say, one of the challenge. And the next would be, I would say, the scalability of the program. Like on a small scale basis, it might have worked, but when you go for a higher scale, it might not work. So the second challenge would be on the scalability or sustainability of the program.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very well.
we usually face number games because in development or empowerment process, it's very slow. और ऐसे ही दिखेगा नहीं आपको कि how many women got job. It's very difficult to monitor. Or empowerment maybe it's very difficult to judge कि अभी this person is empowered now. So that crisis we have. Sometimes चाहते हैं लोग कि numbers बताओ कितने लोग empowered हो गए, कितने को job मिल गई, कितने trained हो गए, but that is not the only criteria which we can understand, but we have to satisfy our CSR committee. So
And of course,
that is
assessing the impacts, I remember in the standard question in any interview is, how do you assess the impact? And that's a very tricky question because there's no standalone answer for it. In fact, in the new amendments, the government has also put forward that there has to be impact assessment for all the programs which are above a certain amount. So because impact assessment is something that is everybody wants to know.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe anything which you can tell that startups can help in closing them? Any specific ideas which startup can work on?
So I think, technology is the new buzzword. So I think all the startups, they are well versed with technology and they can actually help in bridging or strengthening the governance component of CSR project through monitoring and evaluation or impact assessment. So we in fact have again, I will come back to the project where we are having an app called Nandghar app. We are real-time monitoring the program. So certain things can be, such things can be done by startup to provide support in the technology front.
And documentation, the second thing.
Good. So
Very
I think
important
few of you have got
document,
the
yeah.
ideas for some more startup ideas. So moving to the last question of our panel discussion, and maybe then we'll go for the question answer. So has social impact become the new CSR? So how do you feel about it? Has the social impact has become the new CSR?
Yeah, I think it's an old process. It's not new for us. We usually look in every project. जब हमारे पास project आता है, तब we usually look कि social impact क्या होगा इसका. So I think everyone should know. होना ही चाहिए. Social impact is must in every project. It is part of the proposal. It should be.
Yeah, I would say that, the ultimate goal of CSR should be social impact, in addition to other deliverables of, engaging with the stakeholder and creating stakeholder value. But yeah, social impact is, I think, is the end goal of CSR,
Okay, great. Super. So now we are opening up for the questions. We're happy to have questions.
Like I think I have to give one good example. Social impact का आप बता रहे तो थोड़ा मैं उसको describe करती हूँ कि I told you कि मैं recently पावी बहन से बात कर रही थी तो 200 women they gathered and they created a group or society. तो automatically जो उनकी family है वो इम्पैक्ट होगा उनका सोशली इम्पैक्ट होगा. जैसे घर की एक महिला काम करने जाती है तो ऑब्वियसली वो पेरेंट्स का या उनके बच्चों का के ऊपर सोशल इम्पैक्ट होता है. वो जान के आती है मार्केट में क्या हो रहा है, पैसे कैसे आ रहे हैं, आमदनी कैसे बढ़ रही है, घर में खाते खाते बात कर रहे हैं बच्चों के साथ डाइनिंग टेबल पे और किचन में शेयरिंग हो रहा है. तो दैट इज सोशल इम्पैक्ट कि उनको पता है कि उसकी मदर या उनके फादर स्टार्टअप में है और उनका ये इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है. तो ये already ongoing process है ही. This is nothing new for me.
Yeah, questions?
Hello. Good morning. Thank you so much for the session. हमारा एक सोशल इम्पैक्ट वेंचर है. हम एक सोशल एंटरप्राइज हैं. हम एग्री बिजनेस में काम करते हैं. तो इट्स एन इंटरेस्टिंग डिस्कशन मेरे लिए क्योंकि हम लोग ये चैलेंजेस जो आप बता रहे हैं उसको हम ऑन ग्राउंड थोड़े फेस करते हैं. तो हर एक मोशन से वी हैव टू गो थ्रू इट. समझने के लिए भी उसको पहले ट्रायल करना जरूरी है, ये हमने समझा है. स्पेशली जब हम अर्बन एरिया से जाके रूरल एरिया में काम करने की बात करते हैं तो उसके चैलेंजेस बहुत अलग होते हैं. तो एक मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था, थोड़ा डिस्कशन इंसाइटफुल रहेगा समझने के लिए भी, कि जैसे सोशल एंटरप्राइजेस हैं वो थोड़ा जैसे स्पेशली जो अर्बन एरिया से रूरल में जाती हैं उनका एक अलग रोल होता है और जो रूरल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स खुद होते हैं वो जब अपना अपने हिसाब से ग्रो करते हैं तो उनका एक प्रोसेस अलग होता है. तो एज CSRs जो अर्बन कंपनीज या फिर अर्बन वेंचर्स हैं जो सोशल एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप करना चाहते हैं, उसके लिए CSR क्या व्यू करता है, मतलब उसका फ्यूचर के लिए व्हाट इज द पर्सपेक्टिव्स दैट यू मे हैव, यू कैन शेयर इट विद, इट विल बी वेरी हेल्पफुल. थैंक यू सो मच.
एक्चुअली CSR में इंडिविजुअल सपोर्ट का कोई स्कोप नहीं है. आपको कोई रजिस्टर्ड ट्रस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कंपनीज के थ्रू वी कैन टेक द प्रोजेक्ट, वो एक फिक्स है एज पर अवर गाइडलाइन. लेकिन बहुत सारे ऐसे वेंचर्स को इकट्ठा करते हैं कोई ट्रस्ट या कंपनीज, एंड देन दे डेवलप द प्रोजेक्ट. जैसे कोई एरिया ले लो या बहुत सारे लोग हैं तो अलग अलग एरिया ले लो, लेकिन 50 to 100 ऐसे स्टार्टअप्स होते हैं, उसको मिला के देन दे कैन प्रपोज टू सम कंपनी, ऐसा होता है. लेकिन फिर उसमें हम अर्बन रूरल ऐसा जब जहां तक हमारी सोच है तो वैसा नहीं है. आदमी एम्पावर्ड होना चाहिए, उसको स्टार्टअप करना है, तो दैट इज ऑल फॉर अस.
So as I was mentioning that, whatever startup or agency, social enterprise we are supporting, we look for the alignment of their program with our programs, right? So as you mentioned that you are working in agri-based something, right? So we have a program on farm-based livelihood. And let me tell you that we are hungry for innovations, right? So if you can give an innovative solution, so it will be readily taken up. Come what, I mean, it's up to you. What is the innovation or solution that you provide to us, which will value add to our program? So then it's a win-win situation for both.
There is one good network, Honeybee Network, started by Professor Anil Gupta, IIMA pass out. तो वो लोग क्या कहते हैं, शोध यात्रा दे हैव डेवलप्ड. तो पूरे गांव में घूमते हैं वॉकिंग थ्रू, और इनोवेशंस जो गांव में होते हैं उनका भी वो लोग आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं और उनको प्रमोट करते हैं. इफ यू कैन गूगल इट, यू कैन इजीली गेट द इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम दैट. So that is very good social entrepreneurship initiative created by him. Yeah. And you please convenient meet them.
Actually, sir, one more question I had when you were speaking. So we are basically registered because we are an enterprise. We are registered as a LLP, and CSR norms, like you said, 1280G and Section 8 companies, one of the compliance is required. So how do we navigate that? Because we do partner with NGOs, but our role is a little different and the NGO role is a little different. So if we are looking to approach a CSR, we cannot directly do so, right? According to the norms at present, we cannot do that, right?
You can work around that, when suppose you have an implementation partner and you are confident of that partner. So let the partner be front facing the project for you. However, your role would be as knowledge partner for that NGO. So in our case, the NGO will be front facing us and will receive the grants from our end. But you as a knowledge partner can actually guide them to do the program the way you want. So as a consortium, you can always apply. So.
Any other questions? Yes.
यहाँ पर बहुत सारे यूथ बैठे हैं और सब लोग कहीं ना कहीं सोशल सेक्टर में अपना करियर बनाना चाहते हैं. तो सोशल सेक्टर में जब करियर बनाना सोचते हैं, उसके लिए फंड की जरूरत पड़ती है, तो CSR के पास जाते हैं. तो कंपनी हमेशा पूछती है आपके पास रजिस्टर्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, कितने साल पुराना है, कितना एक्सपीरियंस है, कितना इंपैक्ट क्रिएट किया है. तो ये क्राइटेरिया सेट करके रखा है. क्या नए प्लेयर्स के लिए जो सोशल सेक्टर में आना चाहते हैं उनके लिए कुछ जगह है कि CSR उनके ऊपर, उनके आइडियाज के ऊपर ट्रस्ट करे और उनको इनिशिएटिव लेने के लिए पुश करे?
So very rightly said कि ये जो कंपनीज एक्ट है सर, ये आया था 2013-14 में, एंड उसके बाद देखा गया कि काफी पैसा जो आ गया है उसका एंड रिजल्ट नहीं पहुंचा है। उसकी वजह से अमेंडमेंट लाया गया और थोड़ा एक्ट में थोड़ा स्ट्रिक्टनेस लाया गया, गवर्नेंस बढ़ाया गया। सो जो नए प्लेयर्स हैं वो किसी एस्टेब्लिश्ड एजेंसी से आ सकते हैं। जैसे अभी मेरी बात हो रही थी मनन जी से, वो कह रहे हैं ये जो आपकी संस्था है GUSEC, दे आर सेक्शन 8 कंपनी। सो जो स्टार्टअप हैं उनसे जुड़ के CSR का इंटरफेस बन सकते हैं, क्योंकि कंपनीज के भी हाथ बंधे हैं दैट वी कैन नॉट फंड एनीवन हु हैज लेस देन 3 years एक्सपीरियंस। हमको भी आंसर देना होता है मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स को, और हर दिन विद एवरी ईयर पासिंग बाय द CSR एक्ट में और ज्यादा दांत जुड़ते जा रहे हैं, बिकॉज दे ऑल्सो वांट टू इंश्योर दैट देयर आर नो outflows or misuse of funds. So इसलिए unfortunately it's a bit tight, but yeah, there are ways you can work around them, and I can assure you that company always, as I was telling the lady, that we are hungry for innovation. So we want to take anything that comes which has the potential to add value.
उनके पीछे भी थोड़े रीजन ऐसे हैं कि थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस अगर उनके पास हो जाए तो वो प्रोजेक्ट सस्टेनेबल हो सकता है। दैट इज ओनली द रीजन कि प्रॉपर फंड यूटिलाइजेशन का, क्योंकि ऐसे ही मैं अगर आज शुरू करती हूँ, मेरा थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस बन जाए कैसे फंड मैनेजमेंट है, प्रोजेक्ट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन है, वो सब एक्सपीरियंस को लेके अगर CSR का सपोर्ट ले तो वो बेटर रहेगा, ऐसा हमारी सब सोच रहती है। दिस ओनली।
थैंक यू नीलेश फॉर द क्वेश्चन। तो इससे मैं ऐसा होप करती हूँ कि वाघ बकरी ग्रुप और वेदांता हमें कांटेक्ट करेंगे और हमारे स्टार्टअप्स को सपोर्ट करेंगे। कैन आई लुक फॉरवर्ड? थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू सर। एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस?
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. When we talk about strategic CSR, company has certain commitments towards the society, towards the economy, and towards the environment. Currently in the India, the ecosystem is growing. There are startups, there are innovators which are coming up. But you as an other side of the table have certain commitments. Can you share us that these are the potential avenues or ideas on which startup should work, so that as in budding entrepreneur, they get a good idea and understanding that on what project and what kind of project they should work for, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so that was a good question. So, all our CSR programs, we try to address the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. And for every company, if you pick up, there are certain SDGs which are a priority for those companies. Like take for Vedanta, our priority would be climate action, right? So health is one of this thing. So the startups can actually work around that. They need to do a research on the company they are targeting, and then accordingly align their programs or design programs which will add value to the CSR programs of these companies. So you rightly said there are commitments because companies are driven by many laws, and ESG is something that is we have to follow very strictly. But within that, we always try to do things which are new, which are innovative. Because I remember when the Companies Act was enacted, there was a series of workshops, and I asked Dr. Bhaskar Chatterjee, who happened to have written the act. Why I asked the question, I will tell you, because when the act was enacted, we got a directive from the district administration where the collector mentioned that 2% funds hamare khate mein jama karo, right? And in many states it happened. So I couldn't find a better solution, rather asking Dr. Bhaskar Chatterjee what to do. So Dr. Chatterjee's words were that the CSR Act has been enacted to ensure that corporates or companies bring in their innovations, their project management skills, their designing skills into the social development programs. And we should not in any way provide funds to government to do the program they are anyway doing. Rather, we need to demonstrate a model for government to follow. That's what, again, in the current program, the Nandghar project, which we are doing, we demonstrated a service delivery model to the government, which has been added in the budget of Union budget under the name Saksham Anganwadi. The Saksham Anganwadi is nothing but in line with Vedanta is implementing the project Nandkar.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Or do you have a follow-up question? No, clear. Okay. Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. So the question is, currently the projects that the company is working on, they look a very long-term project, which are part of which have been designed strategically. So I just wanted to know कि इसके पहले which are the other CSR projects the company has done through which it has come at this stage now.
Okay, our Wagh Bakri Tea Group has created endowment fund for healthcare. Also developed some infrastructure for education support. So till date, we have done in health and education. Now we are working on skill development.
So as companies, we take short-term, medium-term and long-term goals, right? And accordingly, the projects are designed in a way so that it will have, deliverables or outcomes on that periodic basis. So you can go through the website and see there are an array of projects and themes which the company is working upon, right? I mean, it can be health. Health is something that everybody is working. Education is something, education at various levels. Like somebody is working in school education, somebody in pre-primary. Some are doing a skill development program. So as ma'am was suggesting. So there are an array of programs that everybody is doing. And all these are as part of the 11 schedules, 11 points mentioned in the 7th schedule.
And the implementation की strategy भी companies wise अलग-अलग होती है. That some companies implement their own, खुद run करेंगे projects. Some identify the good partners and then they implement the project. Some ऐसा है तो कि फिर partner and दो company साथ में मिलके करते हैं. So types of implementation is also different.
Thank you for info.
Madam, one textile unit, they want to do field development training programs. So can you support them?
Share